Welcome to the Unlock Wellness Podcast. I'm Dr. Casey, and today's guests are Lenny and Shalva Gale, and they run a website and blog called Life is No Yoke, where they teach people how to live healthier lives with easier meal planning using a blender. And eating this way has drastically changed their own lives, and they have a passion for transforming as many lives as possible. So thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm excited to have you.
Thanks, Dr. Casey. Yeah, it's a thrill to be here.
Yeah, so why don't you guys both start with your story and just how you got started with doing all of this and shifting your own lifestyles to make more healthier choices?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so my story begins about 5 years ago. It was a story that's very familiar to, I think, a lot of people, in that it's working the corporate grind and getting really good at my job. My clients, my colleagues, the people that I worked for, they loved me because I was so good at it, and I loved what I did. But what I found was that I did not love myself. I was carrying an extra 40 pounds. I was relying on prescription medications. I was not a happy camper. And I decided to really turn my life around and decided to love myself, to make myself priority number one. And and that's with food, that was with exercise, and that was with mindset. And I really decided to embody this sort of this lifestyle, this mindset of life is no yoke. And that's sort of the how and the why I am where I am today.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Shalva?
So mine is a little bit different. Mine is more, I kind of grew up being one of those innately low energy people. I was never really into working out, going to the gym. You'd probably have to drag me to go on a hike with you. But I was a vegetarian. And so I told myself, oh, I'm eating healthy. I've been healthy for years. For 13 years since grade school, I had been a vegetarian. So I really thought I was doing myself a service by not eating meat. And about 5 years ago, similar timing, I started to really be more conscious of what I was eating. Being a vegetarian means you can eat bread and cheese all day and you're still living the tenets of vegetarianism. So I started adding a lot more plants, more fruit, more vegetables, and slowly getting into a workout routine, and noticed that my energy levels were completely different. That what I thought was just my personality really wasn't. It was the way I was treating my body. If you ask my family today, 5 years later, my entire personality is different based on the fact that I'm putting plants into my body every day.
That's amazing. Yeah, no, I love that. So you guys both made these, radical changes. So how did the actual website and blog come about? Like, Lenny, did you make it and then you met Shalva, or did you guys meet up and you guys both changed your lives and then decided to make the blog? Like, how did all of that come together for you guys?
Yeah, starting Life is No Yoke was my ticket out of the corporate grind. I had become well-read in health and nutrition, and I really wanted to find my life's work. And so I started Life is No Yoke about 5 years ago. I learned how to build a website. I learned sort of the ins and outs of eating right, of exercise. This was while I was still working. Mm-hmm. And so sort of in that last year, I was transforming myself, my body, my mindset. And from there, building this thing, Life is No Yoke, it has evolved. It's taken on a lot of forms. And Shalva, I met 3 years ago. We sort of reconnected. That's a long story of how we got reconnected, but I convinced her recently to join, and it's really become something special since Shalva has joined full time.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what motivated you guys to want to continue to teach others? I mean, what was your drive for that? Because you had a completely different path before that. I mean, you guys were both in the the more corporate world. So what was your main drive for wanting to really reach out and help other people?
Yeah, I was a consultant, so I went from project to project. One of my last clients was Kraft Foods, and I went around there looking at everyone. It was clear everyone was carrying around like an extra 10 to 12 pounds of this like weird weight that I don't think anyone's really happy to be carrying around.
Mm-hmm.
And we're living in this corporate environment that was surrounded by what just felt like dishonesty and marketing of products for the sole purpose of profit. And I'm really passionate about, we are really passionate about exposing the truth. People think they know, but they don't really know. There's a lot of mixed messages out there. And
Right.
And I think, you can do all the research and you can study all you want, but what we've finally found and what we've come to is our best advice for people is to just take baby steps and to do a little thing, try and get a little win. And we've found that to be blend something every day. And, you're not going to, no one can change their lifestyle 180 degrees in a day or a week or a month or a year. It's taken me 4 or 5 years to really get to where I am today. And so if we can help people get that little win every day, they're going to take that and apply that to other places in their lives and to spread the gospel to other people in their lives. And so that's kind of our that's our specialty, and that's where we found people find the most success is that little one single win every day.
Right. And I love that you really teach. I love that you really focus everything around blending, because it is something that anybody can do. It's a great way for people to get a lot of fruits and vegetables in at one time and still taste great. Like, if you have a kid, that's probably one of the best ways that you can do is just like make a smoothie or like tell them it's a milkshake. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and just use fruit and different vegetables. I mean, it's just a great way to utilize it for anybody.
Definitely. We find a lot of people that, first of all, talk about their kids. I've got a picky eater.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I can get fresh fruits and vegetables. And the quickest thing, like you said, is get a smoothie in them. It's delicious. It's packed full of stuff. You can hide so many ingredients in there. We've noticed that with the blending lifestyle in general, that we're able to, quote, hide quite a few healthy ingredients. I made a berry smoothie the other day and put a thing of cabbage in it. I had cabbage to spare, and you couldn't taste it at all, but it's just extra vitamins that suddenly you are able to get into your system that you wouldn't have eaten a cabbage salad that day.
Right. Or you wouldn't have sat there and ate like 4 carrots, but you can drink it in like two seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what are some of the favorite ways that you're teaching people how to use a blender to like make their lives easier and to make the meal planning easier? What are some of the steps that you're teaching people that the easiest way to do all of this?
So the number one thing that we always tell people when they kind of start on their healthy lifestyle journey or on their blending journey is to put plants in their blender first thing in the morning. It's the easiest win. Make a smoothie, make a protein shake, whatever it is. Start on the right foot, start on the right track for the day. Find a recipe that you love. Lenny's mom made the exact same smoothie for herself probably for a year because she knew what she liked.
Yeah, it makes it quick. It's part of your routine.
Exactly. And the less decisions you have to make in the morning, the better decision you make.
Exactly.
So if I've got donuts on the counter and I've got 7 ingredients that need to go in the blender, I'll probably go for the donuts. But if it's the same 7 ingredients I use every day and it's a no-brainer, then it's a really good, easy win. So that's always the first thing we teach people is throw some plants in your blender when you start your day. And the second thing is that blenders make more than smoothies. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of our most popular recipes really are soups and dips and spreads, things where you can throw fresh ingredients into your blender and suddenly have, homemade hummus, red pepper hummus, whatever. Or one of our best recipes is a creamy vegan wild rice soup.
It sounds awesome.
So good. It was like 90 degrees here the other day and we made it anyway because we had it. And then Lenny's most famous recipe is our cashew queso. So it's
Oh, that sounds good too.
yeah, it's so good. It's cashews and almonds and a red pepper, and it tastes like nacho cheese, but it's good for you. And you have to use a vegetable as a vehicle to get it into your mouth. So it's kind of a good trick.
That's right. Yeah. Our famous queso. And, it goes to that meal planning thing of don't meal plan and just have snacks that are readily available, dips that you could throw celery or carrots into, or even chips. Making your life easy by not meal planning is the way that we see is the best way to meal plan.
Well, whenever you make real food and there's real, like if things are made with fruits and vegetables and like nuts and seeds and just real food, like you don't have to worry about I have to have this then, unless you're like doing some type of specific training where you have to be super strict, but the majority of people aren't. If you're having a snack of veggies and a dip that you made with nuts and seeds and veggies, like you can literally eat that all day and not have to worry about it. I mean, if you're full, then you're good to go.
Right.
But yeah, no, I love that.
It's almost to our detriment because we joke about this, that we have so many dips and spreads, from hummus to our famous queso. We have green juice that we made either that day or the day before. We have what else? We have like ice cream in the freezer that we made. We have so many things that I can just go in the fridge and grab.
Yep.
Where Shalva's like, "Are we gonna eat dinner tonight?" What? You've been snacking all day, and it's true. Like I just go to the fridge and snack whenever I want, whatever I want, because it's there. It's good for me. I don't need to think about it.
Right.
And so yeah, we do a little bit of meal planning because it's nice to have something interesting. We love these spring roll wraps we make with delicious peanut sauce. We make dinner, but to have the ability to not is the most wonderful thing.
Yeah, that's cool. And the thing is, when you use a blender, I don't think people realize that it makes it so much quicker. It's just, you can make all of these things at one time because it doesn't really take that long. Like especially some of the recipes that you're putting out.
Right.
Right. Because I mean, what's probably the average time frame that it takes to make some of these recipes that you're putting out?
We go for 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's doable for everybody.
Yeah. There are things that take longer. Shalva loves to bake. And so if there's a brownie that she is making, or so like a lemon bar recently she made, even these raw bite-sized sort of protein like energy balls, those take a little bit of time. But this all got started from way before Shalva, when it was just me in my tiny apartment trying to feed myself. Mm-hmm. And these are
these are easy recipes.
They're easy. I mean, I don't want to make any assumptions here, but I'm a dude, and I'm
bachelor approved, right?
Yes, exactly. Like, I like to make stuff that takes me 5 minutes, and that if I don't finish it, I can save and have, in 3 hours or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yes, so this all started with easy, healthy, quick. That's what it's all about. Easy, healthy, quick.
And filling. That's one of the things that I think people, when they hear blender, they're like, well, I don't want to drink all my calories. I don't feel full unless I'm chewing something. Mm-hmm. I totally understand that mentality, but I dare them to try a few of our recipes and not feel so full. Our butternut squash soup, I can have like a half of a cup before I'm done. It's so filling, and that's kind of the point, is getting enough plants into your system that you feel full so that you don't also need a roll with your meal.
Exactly. And with most, the standard American diet, it's almost everybody is deficient in fiber. And whenever you're making a lot of these meals and incorporating so many plants and they're getting more fiber than they're used to, then all of a sudden they're like, wow, like I'm actually really full. And then, I think with like your recipes, that's what people are getting.
Yeah. And I think they're surprised to feel that way because they think of juicing, mm-hmm. which removes a lot of the fiber, and you're just kind of getting the vitamins and nutrients from the fruit itself. But we're doing a whole food juicing. So if you're blending up an entire apple, instead of just getting the juice from that apple, you're getting all the benefit of the fiber from the skin of that apple into your smoothie. And so people are very surprised, I think, by how full they feel after whole food juicing, because there is so much fiber involved.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What are some of the most common questions that you guys get when you're helping people through making some of these transitions?
Yeah, that's a great question. We get a lot of questions about where can I get my protein.
Mm-hmm.
People are very concerned about getting enough, getting the right kind, and I think that's a misconception. I think a couple things there. One, you don't need as much protein as you think you need, as you may have been told that you need. Two, you can get protein from plants, and look, like we don't want, like, we joke personally, Shalva and I, we don't want to be those people who are so off-putting by saying vegan, don't eat anything but plants. And I don't think, as passionate as I am about that, Shalva's not. Look, Shalva still likes cheese and enjoys I don't know,
Dairy,
yogurt
yeah.
this morning. But I think helping people ease into a lifestyle that is more focused, that is more plant-based, that is more whole foods based, that's what we want. And I forget what the original question was, but basically,
what are the questions people ask you?
Oh, the protein.
How do I get my protein?
Yeah. You don't need the as much as you need, and you can get it from plants. That's what we tell people, and that's the reality. Is look, like, I mean, I think I still look pretty good without my shirt on. And I don't even eat anymore. So so it's the protein. You can get enough protein from plants exclusively.
Well, we've been trained. I mean, our society's been trained the opposite is, the plate should be mostly meat and dairy with a little bit of veggies, where it really needs to be the opposite, or, but it's not even needed, because it's our bodies aren't meant to process that much protein at one time. Our kidneys can't handle it, and
Right.
It's being so overdone that it is becoming a problem. It's more, people are so worried about protein, but not so much about fiber, where fiber is really the main deficiency that we're seeing.
That's right. It's the fiber. One example. So Shalva and I, earlier this week, we went to the zoo with our little niece and nephew, and we saw was it an ape or a gorilla? Gorilla. I mean, he was probably like 1,200 pounds, the most muscular, vital creature I've ever seen. And he's got a handful of iceberg lettuce and 3 carrots in his hand, just grubbing. I mean, this is a creature that eats plants. This is an herbivore, and he's the biggest, strongest thing I've ever seen in my life. And so, to your point, you don't need meat to get sort of that body that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think elephants and rhinos are doing okay too. So.
Same thing, exactly. That's a great point. Yeah. So the protein. What other questions do we get a lot?
So we get the question a lot. So Lenny and I are Vitamix demonstrators. So we represent a high-end, high-powered blender. So one of the questions we get a lot is, do I need this fancy blender to be able to live this lifestyle? And as much as we want to say yes, the answer is no. Whatever blender you have can handle a smoothie. And that's the point of a blender. And so we just want people to start on the path, and we know eventually if it becomes their lifestyle, if they're blending every day, if they want to start making dips and soups and ice creams, that they'll eventually upgrade to a Vitamix. But that is a question we get all the time. Do I need to have this blender to live this lifestyle? And the answer is no. It doesn't matter what blender you have. Throw some vegetables into it, throw some fruit into it, and start getting your whole foods into your body.
Yeah, I love that, because I mean, I went on that same path. I had a really cheap blender, and then I upgraded to one that was a little bit nicer, and like over a 6-year period, like I just got my first Vitamix this year, and I love it. It's amazing. So it is cool, and that you guys are just telling people just to get a blender. It doesn't matter what kind, but it's going to benefit you.
Exactly.
And that's what's nice. Everyone has one. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like you go to, like, it's on the list of, if you're gonna have a dorm room apartment, you get like some spoons, some forks, some knives, and a blender.
Every wedding registry ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can get them for $19. Look, I started creating the smoothies for Life is No Yoke with a $20 blender, and exactly like you, Dr. Casey, I upgraded through, like, over the course of 4 or 5, 6 years. I think I got a Breville, like a $200 Breville with a big fancy glass container. And then eventually I said, you know what, I'm going to get this Vitamix. And I will say that, even knowing that this was probably going to be my line of work, knowing that I was going to sell these things, I was still a little nervous to take the plunge, so to speak, or to pull the trigger. It was a crazy feeling. But it's one of those things where the worst part about it is taking the plunge, is making the purchase, and then it's
And then it's magical.
And then it's magical.
right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it really is definitely worth it. And I mean, it's something that you'll be able to use for an extremely long time. So it's definitely worth looking into for sure.
Yeah.
I know that you guys put a lot of education out there. I mean, you have, YouTube, you have classes, an ebook, and a newsletter. So do you guys want to just talk about the different things that you're doing just to reach out to people?
Yeah, we have a lot going on. I think the best way for people to get connected with us is our newsletter. Every Saturday, we send a newsletter with a handful of plant-based blender recipes, with some updates from our Vitamix people, with some personal updates from our world, and any appearances. So anytime we're on a podcast episode, our new YouTube videos, our newsletter is our most wonderful, our most valuable asset. It's what we put the most work into. It's free. We don't try and sell you anything. It's just a Saturday hug every morning, our newsletter. And then from there, you see all the things that we do. So we're on Instagram. We have a really nice Instagram following. We're on YouTube. We pour an enormous amount of time and resources into YouTube videos. So not only cooking demonstrations and blending demonstrations, but also just coaching, free coaching. We just put out a video the other day, Shalva, how to break an addiction to carbs. We have almost 500,000 lifetime views on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is great.
What is your name on YouTube and then Instagram as well?
Life is No Yoke for both.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you guys on Facebook as well?
Yeah, but we're trying to focus on the two things that are. I mean, yeah,
Gotcha.
Shalva's laughing, but we're on Facebook. Of course, you can find us on Facebook. We spend the most of our energy and give the most of our love in the following order: newsletter, Instagram, and YouTube. Tie for two, and then everything kind of falls out from there.
Got it. No, I love it. I love it.
And you're asking about the other stuff that we provide. I mean, our job, like the way that we make a living is by selling the Vitamix machine. And so, we encourage people to come to us when they're ready. We will help them find the best deal, and we will help them use the machine that they get the best. We have onboarding materials. We call it a starter kit. When you order your Vitamix, you type in our promotion code, which makes sure that we get credit. They will get a slew of things to get started: an ebook, a shopping list, a recipe guide, priority lifetime support from us. You can email us, call us. Like, we want people who get a Vitamix to love it, to use it every single day. We don't want it to be one of those things where you think it's going to change your life, and then it just sits and gathers dust. We want you to use it, and we want it to change your life. So that is what we provide. That sort of, we go that extra mile to really make sure that people are getting the most out of their investment.
No, I love it. No, that's awesome. And it really is amazing that you guys provide so much support for people, because, it is a big investment. So, I mean, if you're going to invest in that, but it is an investment in your health. It's amazing that they have you guys as resources to actually show you and guide them on how to use it. So I love it.
And that goes for you too, Dr. Casey. You can, we'll set you up. Just send us, hey, what should I make? Oh yeah, try this banana bread. Oh yeah, try this, creamy
man, no, I'm pumped. I'm already pumped to go through and make a bunch of your recipes this weekend. So
Right on.
Awesome. Yeah. So a new closing question that I have for each podcast guest. So if you could give just one piece of advice to the audience, what would it be?
We're looking at each other and we're going to say it at the same time. So, okay, ready on 3. One word, okay? 1, 2, 3.
Blend.
Breakfast.
No. Oh. We didn't say the same thing. Blend your breakfast.
Yeah,
Blend your breakfast.
Yeah. I was gonna say breakfast. It starts with breakfast. You have a choice first thing in the morning to start your day right. Are you gonna pick up a piece of toast or a bagel or a donut, or are you gonna blend yourself up some green juice? That's gonna start your day the best.
There's something about being the person walking into the office with a green juice that kind of like puts you on I am eating healthy. I am visually that person today.
Yeah, no, on a psychological level, absolutely.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think especially for females, I'm not sure why, but like when I would walk into a corporate office, like making a statement, like with my gym bag and my green juice, no one's asking me to go get tacos for lunch today.
Right.
You know, it's just obvious I don't want to today. So I think starting your day like that, committing, telling yourself, I am this person. I am someone that cares about my health, even if you're 150 pounds overweight.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. You know,
Yeah.
Good for you that you're starting the right track. You don't have to be a fitness model to be that person. You are making a choice to be a healthy person. And that's how to start is start the
No, I love that. I love that. Just small daily choices and just starting with, start with blending your breakfast, and then maybe next week it's doing something else, but just start with one thing.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. If you guys are listening, please go check them out on social media, sign up for their newsletter, check them out on YouTube, follow them on Instagram, and just reach out if you have any questions. They're doing some amazing work, and I know the recipes all look amazing, so be sure to check them out. But thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.